But hello and welcome to another episode of the Ginge and Pedro Show. I'm, of course, your host, Mr. Gingy. Alongside me, the world famous Mr. Pedro A.
Am I world famous?
That's the word on the street, it seems.
Yeah, okay.
That bell keeps ringing, so congratulations.
Yeah. I'm gonna
let it ring true, buddy.
I'm gonna call myself world famous from now on. Just gonna own it. I'm world famous, guys.
Somewhat, to some degree. I mean, you are known across the world at this point.
Yeah. I have friends everywhere.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's kind of, be proud, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of world famous and friends around the world and
loved everywhere.
Looking for a good segue here. We've got a very interesting guest here. He's a man of many talents and has been putting them to work for sure. He's munching on some coffee and what looked like a Slim Jim in the back. Yeah. Let's go ahead and bring him out.
This is a guy
like a Rolling Stone.
This is a guy who's changing the face of indie comics as we know it. And I'm proud to call him a friend. Now, like a Rolling Stone.
There you go. Gathering no moss.
Look Stone.
What's up, buddy?
Thanks. All this good juju here.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys speak way too highly of me.
Yeah.
I'm just some guy that likes to mess around and do stuff. If I'm changing the face of comics, I'm making it uglier.
Hey, as long as it's recognizable.
Yeah.
It's got a beard. It's got a great beard.
That's the thing. Is
what's up, everybody? Thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah.
The Ginge and Pedro Show.
Yeah,
this is my first time by here.
Yeah. Yep. We've been going for like a year and change, right, Ginge? Or a little bit, almost 2 years.
Yeah, I think we're almost to episode 100, and I don't recall. I know we're over a year. I think we're coming up on 2 years.
Possibly. 2 years.
I'm have to check the math on that.
Yeah, we are persistent.
Yeah, man.
So it's the first time we have a look here, and it was about time, man. Mm-hmm. We got Hex out in the chat. What's up, Hex?
Say hello to the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Hex pops in. He says third. All right, buddy. That's bronze. You're welcome. You're on the podium. You placed.
Exactly.
Let's see. Ictus. Hey, brother. Good man.
What's up, Ictus? You doing, man?
Yeah, getting his project, his creator owned off the ground here soon. Yeah, Pro Wrestling Gators.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Good art from there. So really good art in that.
So we've got Hex. He says, "Did someone mention the Jujus?" I assume we mean the candy and not the.
It wasn't a Slim Jim. It's like a Twizzler, but it's a Sour Patch.
Oh.
A Sour Punch.
Sour Punch.
I've got a little
apple flavored.
Minutes.
Yeah.
I've been started on my Halloween.
Oh, right. It's just gummy bears. Dude, we're doing comic books again this year.
Yeah.
So we're doing a bunch of Arrow books, and then I even got some of the Alternaween books.
Oh, sweet.
To give out this year.
Dude, I wish Latin America celebrated.
Welcome, Ichthus.
Like you guys do.
Ichthus.
Yeah, that's
down in Miami there.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, I'm no longer in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I'm up in southern Indiana, and they have places that are seasonal. And here's how I know it's about to get cold, because those places are closing this weekend.
Oh,
boy.
Yes. So the ice cream joint, no more ice cream. No more ice cream until summer. Coming this Saturday. It's gone. The hot dog joint we got, like Duke Honeys and stuff like that. This weekend, shut them down. Shut everything down.
Wait, you don't have hot dogs during the winter?
This is news to me as an American. Yeah. Maybe it's an Indiana thing.
We can make hot dogs, but I mean, it's a hot dog joint.
Oh, I got it.
Right?
Got it. So
because it gets like super cold here. These are like outdoor places.
Wait outside.
Right? Yeah, right. You drive up to it and they bring it out to your car. And so the waitresses, the car hops are outside all year round, right? So they can't do that here. It gets freaking cold.
Yeah.
Even today. So today, 55 degrees when I woke up this morning. It got to 91 degrees. It's like Weather by Sybil. It can't figure out what the hell it's doing.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
Damn, bro.
It's crazy. How do you dress for that?
It's been hot as shit in Florida up until the last 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden now it's like just boom, pretty much overnight. I mean, we're in the 70s, so it's great,
Right,
but it's like, I know it's just the 70s, but my body's pretty acclimated to that 90-degree heat, so I'm like,
oh yeah,
pretty chilly in the 70 degrees, but
I'm still Floridian. I still got the thin skin. I still 80, 90 degrees. That's where I'm comfortable. 55 degrees. I remember I call it back home. Back home, if it was like on a Sunday morning, if it was below 50 degrees, or if it was like in the 50s, I knew that the old people weren't coming to church that Sunday. They were staying home. It's too cold.
Yeah,
they were getting out.
Yeah, and as people get old, the cold is not your friend.
There's still people wearing shorts in that weather here. I'm like,
yeah, dude.
I miss Jacksonville, but it's way cheaper up here. Way cheaper. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, my brother moved to Indiana as well. I'm not sure where, but it's to basically move with his girlfriend to there. That's where her family's from. But yeah,
guys
he's having a blast
women
up there.
Anywhere. It's not bad. Yeah. It's not bad. It's just different,
Yeah.
I'm bracing myself for the winter.
Yeah, that's gonna be a change.
No more DeSantis.
I
miss DeSantis.
You miss DeSantis?
DeSantis.
I mean, he's a pretty good governor. I know that's an unpopular opinion, considering he's running against Trump. But I mean,
for someone who's lived there under his regime, it's done pretty well. His regime, it's done well. I mean, I'm happy. I was happy with him with his work.
Yeah.
So
I'll say this too. It's like, and maybe it's more directly speaking to my local government. I live in Panama City, which is a pretty Republican.
Yeah, it is.
Woods, but, right, Bay County, right. DeSantis comes here a lot. Trump has been here several times. Blah blah. As far as our local government goes, back when the pandemic happened, we only had like when everybody shut down originally, like we were shut down for like 3 months. And then as soon as, I don't know if that's when DeSantis opened Florida up or whatever, but like I just remember almost sort of forgetting, not necessarily forgetting, but like not many people wore masks. It was still pretty chill around here. So it was like we were only shut down for like 3 months.
I remember seeing someone from like California and they're like, I still can't get a haircut. I'm like, I've had 3 since then. I mean, that's,
I don't know. The quarantine down here was very like Latin American.
Of course it was.
Like, you can't go out. And I was like, what? Ciao.
You ain't telling me nothing. That's kind of what it was like in Devill. I mean, they said everybody needs to be locked down, and everyone went to work. The only thing that changed was people that worked out of the home. They found a way for them to work in the home.
Yeah.
And so people realized they didn't have to be in the office all the time, which is nice.
It was like 3 weeks of madness, and then everyone was like, dude, this is insane. Whoever's gonna die is gonna die.
Right. I mean, I almost did. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
But, it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out.
It
was one of those things where, everyone went, like, the mainstream went pencils down.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today is because I had all this extra time. I was at home all the time, right? Yeah. I didn't have the commutes anywhere. I couldn't go see people, go do visitations or things like that. I was at home. And so I started working on comics more and getting involved in the scene more. And so I try to find I had this lady that I worked with at the old church. Her name was Debbie. She always said, try to find the strawberry in everything. There's just something, like you're always looking for a strawberry. And so yeah, we found I think I found the strawberry in it. I mean, it brought me this far, so.
Shout out to Debbie. Respect.
Debbie. Much respect, Debbie.
Hey, you're playing now like the Dulcimer too. Like I've seen some videos.
Yeah. So I music was out of my life for a while because these stupid fingers won't work right still. And I found this instrument. So I went to a Pioneer Village, and whenever you're going to these things, we went over like Labor Day weekend, right? So it was that Saturday. Labor Day was Monday. In fact, it might have been Labor Day No, it wasn't Labor Day because I bought my new dulcimer on Labor Day. So it was on that Saturday. So we go there and, we're walking around. I didn't realize I had a pass to get in to all the state parks for free. I got it for my birthday, hadn't used it, which was lame of me. And so went to the state park, walked around this area. And it was interesting because, they're building a distillery there. It was like one of the first distilleries. So they're going to be the only state park with a working distillery. So they're going to make whiskey and sell it.
Nice.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Like the state park. When I hear state park, I definitely think of like the beach with like a bunch of trees on. Is this like, what do you mean when you say state park?
Right. Well, because we don't got those in
section.
Indiana. We don't got beaches. So This is like woods and mountains. Southern Indiana, they've got small mountains, very small. We might call them hills here, if you're from the mountainous area. But compared to the plains, it's pretty hilly, right? So they've got like mountain stuff, and you'll go to these old areas where this was an actual settlement that somebody, this two brothers built, and so they kind of built this whole thing up. They had this business all worked out, and it was pretty neat learning about it and seeing all the stuff there. And they had an old mill and all kinds of stuff, i.e. spring mill, because there's a spring and a mill, and they're putting in a distillery, and I'm like, yay, way to go. But so we're walking around, and I hear this music kind of playing on the air, string music, and I love stringed instruments. Always have. So I go finding it, and here's this lady playing this odd-looking thing on her lap. It's got 3 strings on it, but it has a real pretty sound to it. And I get thinking, I've learned how to type with my keyboard here, with these fingers, and get them doing something. But she was playing with one finger, like these melodies and these stuff. And then she'd throw in a second finger every once in a while. And I was like, it's got 3, and I got 3 fingers that'll work. So I started talking to her about music and kind of what was going on with, what I'd been through. She said, well, why don't you try this, see if you can play it. So I went up there, and all 30 years of music theory and guitar playing come rushing in. I mean, this was a diatonic instrument, so it wasn't like the 12-note chromatic scale. It was just the 7-note diatonic scale.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a breeze. And I'm like, so I immediately start playing stuff, forming chords, all that good stuff.
Awesome, dude.
And my wife was moved by it because, music was a big part of my life. Our whole life together, I've played music. In fact, that's how I met her. My band played at her church. And so to have music kind of gone, she knew what it was doing to me, right? Well, she kind of got moved, got emotional, my daughter did. We went to lunch on that Sunday. We were on our way to lunch. And we live in the middle of nowhere, really. It's a small town. Got about 12,000 people in it. And if we want like anything other than some mom and pop shops or McDonald's and Arby's or whatever, we got to drive to the college town, to one of the 3 college towns that surround us. So we went to the closest one, a little town called Vincennes, and we were on our way over there, and my wife, as I'm driving, she's like, well, I found a couple of dulcimers used on the marketplace, and so she had me look at them while we're eating, and one of them, like, really, I was like, that's really pretty, so let's ask the lady about it. We asked her about it. Long story short, next morning, we go pick it up, and I've been playing with that thing ever since. So, been having a lot of fun with it. I don't get to play it as much as I want because I'm so busy with work. Like,
I mean, so far I've seen 2 videos, and guys, like, I highly recommend you go check them out at Luke's channel. Like, dude, it's very soothing music.
It is. It's fun.
If you're drawing or doing something, you need to like put your mind out. That's great background music.
Yeah.
It's way better than Dancing Ducks or whatever.
I'm going to wind up doing more. I'm working on this song. It's an old mountain song called Cluck Old Hen. It's kind of upbeat. Okay. But it's fun. Just trying to get my digits to do what they need to do. But so we're still working on that. It's working out well for my rehab. I do I don't know if you want to call it rehab or therapy. It's rehabilitation, but whenever I say rehab, it feels like I'm going,
like
I got a drinking problem.
Yeah, you did some partying. like hard partying in your 20s.
Yeah, I mean,
Party till your hands didn't work anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You
Crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah,
You
so we're
went-
going.
Yeah, you with the Kid Richards.
Yeah, so it's helping with that, but I don't get a chance to play as much as I want. I only get maybe about 15, 20 minutes a day on it,
No,
if I'm lucky. And
it's sounding great, man. Sounding great.
thanks. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice break from just always drawing. But
Yeah.
but thankfully, I woke up from that nap and I was able to draw still. So that's working out.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I know you're a very busy guy, and right now, like with all the commissions, doing FundMyComic, what was the beginning of what Look Stone became today? Like, did you knew ever since you were a kid you were gonna work in comics, or did it?
No, I wanted to. Since I was 14, I wanted to, but like most people, you grow up at some point. They tell you, that's not a realistic dream to have.
Yeah.
You need to shoot lower, right? So my dream was just to make enough money to be able to play music on the side. And then it was like I got good enough at music. I actually did that professionally for a while. Like I traveled and toured and, played for bigger name bands and stuff like that in the CCM, the adult Christian contemporary music stuff.
Yeah.
And so I did pretty well with that. And then, I would go back to comics on the side every once in a while, but at some point, when I was a kid, I'm drawing comics and then I start playing guitar, and like most creative people, you like immediate gratification or praise, recognition for what you've done. Art wasn't getting that for me. Like I would show what I drew and like, what I was doing.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, that's nice," and whatever. They didn't care about these awesome pictures, right? But I would play a tune badly, poorly, and they would just pat me on the back, way to go, right? So I was like, well, let me put my energy in the music thing, and so I did that. And I figured, playing guitar, I'd be able to pick up chicks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was at that age. I was 14. Well, I started playing guitar at 12. I wanted to be a comic book artist at 14. At 15, I started leaning more towards music. And, because chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean,
that's the thing. Our PP goes like, drawing.
it worked. Yeah, it worked, though. It worked.
Yeah, exactly.
I met
That's
my
the
wife. That's how I met my wife, so I guess I don't need to play anymore. But, yeah.
But you heard it here, guys. Your PP will get in your way.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing. Like the same happened to me. I was playing guitar, and I was drawing, but drawing will not get the chicks. So PP went, "Dude, what we're doing? Play that guitar." And
It's like chicks almost settle for artists if you don't play guitar or something.
Right.
If they can't get a musician. It's like, okay, he's still an artist.
Bingo. You got to think with your head. It just depends which one that is, I guess.
Exactly.
Right.
And I was thinking I wanted to get a girlfriend.
Nice.
But no, I really did like playing music and leading worship, and that's taken me a lot of places. It took me to Florida, so it got me there to begin with. It wasn't until 2015 that I really started getting serious about the comic book thing, and it was because in 2014 late 2014 I'd moved to Jacksonville, and I thought that I'd find a band while I was there. It was big place, must be all kinds of music opportunities, and there was not a lot of music opportunities unless you played metal or rapped, and I did neither one of those things, right? So I was having trouble getting plugged in, so I thought maybe I'll do a comic book, maybe I'll draw, I don't know. I was trying to find something to do, but around that time trying to figure that out, my friend Gary Dale, his brother, who he'd grown up around, Jeremy, was a little bit older than us. Jeremy Dale worked for IDW and had, he made it, living vicariously through that guy. He was doing it.
Right on.
So,
That's also cool.
If one of the people in your group does it, I guess you don't have to do it, right?
I mean, as long as your heart is in your right at the right place, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean,
one of us made it. That's all that mattered, right?
yeah, exactly.
Even though, I wasn't, close with him or super close. I was close with his brother.
Yeah.
But still, one of us made it.
Make it.
Yeah, one of us made it, so it was fine. Well, he wound up getting sick in November from some cotton crud, and he laid down for a nap. Man, he didn't wake up. He was just a few years older than us, you know. So it shook me. I was like, man, what if I laid down tonight and I woke up. I didn't wake up. And one of the things I always wanted to do was make my own comic book and work in comic books. I've always wanted to do that. I said I would really, really be upset with myself if I didn't at least achieve some small goal with that. So I started working on comic books, and I started trying to get published, and I started self-publishing, and then I took a step away from that for a minute because people in independent comic books, there's all kinds of grifters and exploiters everywhere you go, and I'm, come from a ministry background, so I tend to think the best of people, hope the best of people, sometimes expect the best of people, but yet, you don't always get that. And so, and then, I wound up moving from youth and music to being the full-time pastor at the church. And then, like the lead pastor. And I had, I inherited what we call a staff infection. Well, there's someone on the staff that's infecting everything.
Yeah.
So we had to deal with that for like a year and a half.
Oh, dude.
And so for like a year and a half, I stopped doing comics and focused on the church thing, trying to get that all squared away.
Like Game of Thrones without, hopefully any of the naughty
without
bits.
royalty.
Right, yeah. Oh, you'd be surprised. I'm telling you what. Yeah, it's...
I don't know, dude.
Game of Thrones, a lot.
I would think Game of Thrones, just like Rome, like it involves a lot of sex.
Yeah.
And people like to say, like, I'm living in a Game of Thrones, environment. Like, you're really not. It's just
I don't
shitty.
know, man. There's a lot of adultery in the church.
Oh,
well, I mean, there's a lot of people in the church that have problems, right? I mean, that's where they're supposed to be. It's in church, right?
Yeah.
And, people think everyone in church is perfect. No, everyone in church has problems. That's one thing you got.
Yeah.
Common with the world. They got problems. The only difference is they're trying to get help for their problems. It's like, it's like, do you expect to see sick people at the hospital? Heck yeah, you do.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a hospital. That's what they're there for.
If you're completely healthy and you can't get out of the hospital, then you're a hypochondriac, so you're not well at all.
Yeah, you're not well at all. You need a different kind of hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
So we dealt with that kind of stuff. But I found out. So I was publishing with Starcross Comics. They took one of my titles, Hybrid's book. They took that one and started publishing it. I had already released the first one with my company, and then I had a second one ready to go, but didn't get a chance to launch it before we closed shop. And it was interesting because I just kind of forgot about it. Then one day Joe Spicer gets a hold of me and says, I need your PayPal. I got to send you money. And when you're going to make the third issue. And I was like, well, the third issue is about halfway done. I've got a little bit ways to go on it.
Well,
go ahead and send me the money. I'm expecting,
$20,
$30. But hey, it was over $100.
Cool.
And I was like, wow, I made some money on that. That's nice. We're going out for a steak dinner tonight, right? And I mean, $100 to a guy in ministry, that's not Joel Osteen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Is a lot of, that's a lot of extra pocket cash, It's like, hey, that's
you're
really
not,
nice.
You're not going to buy a stadium and make your, like your church.
No, we're not. No, I'm not getting rich
Wear all
doing
white, fly around like
yeah,
some of those
like the gemstones or whatever. It's so. Things were selling down at the church, so I got back into it, and then comes along, I'd been going to conventions and worked my way up to 20. What is it? 5 issues, 6 issues. Left Starcross, tried to start another company. Decided I was going to start it with some of my friends, and friends is a very loose term in the comic book industry. People like to use the word community as a way to lull you off of your watch post, if you will, right?
I mean, they want to take the commercial edge.
Yeah, they're like, it's a community. We're doing it for the community. Well, the fandom, the people that read the books, the fans, that is a community.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone that's making the books or has anything to do with production is part of the industry, and the industry and the community are separate things that feed off of each other. The community is there for the product, so we create the product, and because we create the product, they have something to consume, and because they consume it, we make more product. See how this relationship works. But what happens is, especially in the indie community, the indie industry, independent industry, they confuse those two, and they try to make it to where, and really this happens in the mainstream too with comics. That's why you've got people mad about Iron Age and Comicsgate and this and that. They try to make it, it's a community. No, it's an industry. I don't care who makes my toilet paper. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't care, Like in most cases, I don't care who the letterer on a comic book is. I mean, they could be,
Yeah.
They could be Pedro.
Yeah.
Or Ginge.
Yeah.
It's not going to change anything, right?
Yeah. So what if you you really enjoying the comic book and realize that Idi Amin Dada is a letterer? But do you really enjoy the comic book work? I mean, the Butcher of Uganda.
Yeah, no, the last one in Scotland.
That guy.
I think I would just be really surprised that he's a comic book letterer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whoa.
I'm like, wow, he's a really diverse individual.
Multi-talented.
Really wish he could put more of his skills to better use.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude.
Kind of sucks. He's a dick.
Yeah, now that I think of it.
But is he a good letterer? That's the question. Is he a good letterer?
But, I mean, no, he's an amazing letterer.
Okay.
So the thing, heads in the fridge or lettering comic books. I think we should steer his energies.
Yeah, let's do
lettering, and people will be safe. You know what I mean? It's just
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say this:
What's that?
As a letterer, we're moments away from putting a head in the fridge.
Exactly.
How many paragraphs do you want me to fit in that tiny little panel?
Exactly, and that's the thing. We are saving the world by giving letterers work.
Yeah. Let's keep him busy.
Yeah.
So, real quick, I just want to say hello to the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Welcome, chat. Romo. Hey, Ron.
Hey,
what's up, man? Part of the network. Really great artist himself.
Yeah, part of the community.
Looking for some work, so definitely hit him up.
Yeah.
We got Neostar.
Neostar.
My man. We got Creator Outlet. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Levi Skeen. Hey-o.
Hey, yo.
Very nice.
Sounds like tight-fitting jeans, but yeah.
Levi Skeens. Oh, yeah. Pedro, did you pick up those new Levi Skeens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look great now that I'm working out.
No, they really do. Okay. Anyway. No, I agree with this. He says, pay your letterers, my brothers.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about a little bit you as an artist. So I've got Hybrids here, but before we get to that, have you done any other projects for anybody else, or is Hybrids your main thing?
No, I do. Yeah, I've done more. There's some stuff out there that I did that I hope no one ever finds. Early stuff, and then I did a book before Hybrids that I'm probably going to revive at some point. But I'm the artist for Chrome Dog. I've done several short stories for people. I'm 100 pages into about 160 page graphic novel that's going to be out next year. And then I'm doing probably 2 or 3 more short stories for people. So yeah, I've done a lot of most people just know about Hybrids because that's the one I talk about the most. But no, I'm on other projects, and I'll be on a lot more projects next year once they're all done and out.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get Hybrids pulled up here, and we actually had Chrome Dog, the creator for that, on here, and I didn't know that was your art, or maybe I didn't know you at the time. This was like episode, I don't know, within the first 20 episodes of the show, so it's been a while, but I remember that art being really fantastic.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was me. I'm actually finishing that up now. I'm doing a couple of. That's what I've been working on this week. Our colorist had some things come up and couldn't get to some things last month. So hopefully we can get it wrapped up here in a couple of weeks and get the book out.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very nice. So here we've got hybrids. It is on the closed campaign now, but I just wanted to have something that we can reference.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the books that you can get most of them on my website. So they're just not as well presented as they are on a campaign like this. Because if you're going to my website, you probably already know about them.
Gotcha.
And so you're going there to get them. If you're going to a campaign, I've got to introduce you.
We do have the link here in the chat, though.
There you go.
Okay, so real quick. Oh, hello. New face.
Welcome,
Steve and Tina. Hello.
Hello.
Say, how are you? I think we're all doing well. Gentlemen, if I can speak for us.
I'm well. I'm happy.
They look like a cute couple. That's awesome.
They really do.
Yeah. Hello, Steve.
Tina. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so tell us. So you've been working on hybrids for a while. Is this version of it the original material, or is this a revamped version? Or
oh no, man, we kept going. We did a little bit of a remaster, but rather than redo old work, I would much rather tell new stories. That's kind of how I would like to do it. I really, this was one of the projects that I was putting off. I probably did 10 years worth of research on this thing before I started, in order to draw the parallels that I wanted to from kind of religious lore and let me see, what are some of the other things? Conspiracy theories, aliens, mythology. Like, I'm into all that stuff, and I was like, I started pulling this thread and just kind of connected a lot of that stuff. And so I was like, well, I guess that's what we're doing with this thing. So I did a lot of research for like 10 years and tried to come up with different adaptations to get where I wanted to. And then finally, one day, people started developing powers out of nowhere. And within a couple of hours, someone's coming around and abducting them. And that was pretty interesting. And I was like, oh. So we started following this little group of heroes that was trying to find out where they're being taken. Mostly because they have some loved ones that have been taken already. They've been abducted. So they're trying to find them. And along the way, they find out kind of what's happening with why they have powers, where they came from, and ultimately kind of what the plot is behind all of this. Something very nefarious. So as I was writing it, we kind of got to the 5th issue, and we ended it with this massive rescue attempt into this, big facility, heavily guarded. And while they're in there, for being such a, I guess, people think, oh wow, Luke, you're kind, you're a pastor and all that. I can really write some horror and some messed up stuff. I don't know what it is. I guess I just I've seen it too much. So
it's the soft-spoken guy. Like
it always is, right? Yeah. Right. So what they find on the inside of this facility it jacks them up, right? In fact, when people read that, I remember when that issue first came out, I had people call me right away, like, Luke, what the heck did you do? And then as I'm writing, I'm thinking, let's take a little break from the team. Let's catch up with them later. So we take a 6-month break in this story, and with issue 6, we come out, and they're a little bit better with their powers now. They've gotten to know each other as a team. They know how to work off of each other's abilities, and their costumes have gotten better, some of them, and some of them, their catchphrases haven't gotten better at all. They're just the same. But they actually think that they're going to take out the evil at the center of this whole thing. They get this idea, and they think that they're in the midst of finding this weapon that's got the power to defeat this terrible thing, right? But they don't realize they're on a scavenger hunt that's just going to lead to their own demise. And so the whole issue, that they're walking, the whole 4 issues up till issue 9, that they're falling into a trap. It. And then, so we kind of leave them with this big cliffhanger at the end, before we go to the next 3 books, which are being drawn. They would have been done, but I've been busy. Like they would have been done already, all 3 of them. So it's going to be next year. We're going to start releasing them, obviously. Probably February will be book 10, and then followed by, every 2 months after that. That way people have time to get them. But the Bork's going to be done well in advance for them. But so we got everything written out, and I just didn't think that I was going to have the ability to do it. So I started way back then, and I was already doing this book called Worst Day Ever. It was a rom-com, a romantic zombie comedy.
Nice.
And so it was based off of not a Rumble. What was that? Tumblr. I used to have like a Tumblr blog that I would do, and so I would do these blog entries that was done like a diary from this guy that was living during the zombie apocalypse and working as a sign boy for a hot dog shop, I
like it.
So he had to show up to work dressed like a hot dog and with a shotgun, and
wow,
and so he's kind of talking about his life. I thought it'd be funny, just a fun way to blow off steam. So that was kind of my first attempt at like writing seriously. I'd already written out these outlines and stuff for hybrids. I knew where it was going to go. But I wasn't quite a writer. I didn't want anybody else to take on writing that book. So I actually got with another writer that wrote the whole, wrote 12 issues for Worst Day Ever. And it was supposed to be a one-shot. And so we're going to go back to the one-shot eventually. We're going to start releasing little sections in the back of comic books to do it. But so I really started releasing that book. And then the whole group that we were working with said, we need a superhero book. And I'm like, well, mine's not really superhero, but it's kind of superhero. I guess if you're just looking at the fact that it's people with tights and powers, then yeah, it's superheroes. But they're not. It's not really the premise is the powers. It's this other thing. So I pitched it to them, and they liked it, and they said, you should do it. So the first arc was 4 issues. I went ahead and I made a 0 issue. But instead of labeling it 0, I labeled it number 1 because I hate labeling things 0, right? Mm-hmm. So I basically just wrote this interesting chase scene that just left it at a cliffhanger to see if people were even going to like it, because I didn't know if it was going to sell or not. And then I also did issue 2 because we were going to, do issue 1 and then follow it up with issue 2. We knew we were doing that. And it sold. And it was the one that Starcross wanted to publish after we closed down Tenacious Comics. And it was nuts that people really liked it. I thought really only conspiracy nerds and theology geeks would like it because they would be able to draw the parallels with all the stuff I was doing. But it turns out that it really connects with a lot of people. So now we're 9 issues in. We've got 2 full volumes of trade paperback that we put together. We've got backup stories. And a lot of weird stuff's happened over the last 8 years putting this book together. We've changed companies a few times.
Yeah.
We got involved with a grift, a distribution grift. Got involved with that inadvertently.
Yeah, dude, that was very disheartening because it was you, it was Dillard, it was several.
No, it was me. It was Randy.
Randy.
It was Figaro, Anthony Figaro.
Anthony Figaro, yeah.
Yeah, Figaro.
I confused.
And I mean, just a bunch of guys that we trust.
Really
a guy
cool
named,
dudes, man. They're really cool.
Yeah,
dudes.
JD Rosario, JD Calderon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some really nice guys, and we were working with a guy named Varian Grant, who was a friend of ours. Had another network. We'd been streaming with him for a while, and contracts never came. We kept doing the work. He's like, "Oh, well, go ahead and get it done, and we'll get the contract over to you, signed." So it was always that, "Oh, we got to hit this deadline, so let's go ahead and pay for it, but the contract's coming" thing. Well, Randy and I wind up getting sick and going in the hospital with COVID, right? About dying.
Yeah.
And while we're in the hospital, the other guys figured out they sniffed it out. They're like, something's not right.
Yeah.
And so when we woke up, they were like, we need to have a meeting. Are you guys up for it? So we're in the hospital beds. We got our phones with us, and here we've got a little meeting, little Zoom call we're all doing. and they're kind of laying it out, and I'm like, geesh, you know, I'm still trying to figure out how to walk again, let alone like, man, all this money we invested's gone.
Wow.
And I remember asking him, like, well, Randy, you're closest with this guy. You've been friends with him for years now. What do you think? He goes, I think, and he, you know, blank, you know, and all these, like, you know, he Randy did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think, you know.
You know what?
And he goes, yeah. You know, and, you know, and I'm like, well, if you have turned, then there's no hope for me. You know, you know, I'm the guy that, you know, I hope the best from everybody, you know, but didn't work out that way. So, we get back, you know, almost died.
Did he take the money and run, or sorry to interrupt?
No, he didn't actually take any money.
Yeah, it was just promises.
Per se. It was promises. He had us all print 3,000 copies of each of our books to store in his distribution company's warehouse, telling us that we had already had 2,000 of them sold, of each one sold, in a distribution deal with Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah.
They were going to be putting racks in their stores with 9 titles of indie comic books as a test run on the East Coast in 60 stores. Yeah. And so he said they said they were already buying 2,000 copies of each one. So why don't you guys go ahead and print up 3,000 so I'll have a couple extra to sell.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and do that, right? Knowing that he's like, here's the deal, it's laid out, you know, these are the titles that we would like. And yeah, well, at the time, I didn't think that he was lying, because he was also one of my partners in Terraform Comics, which we had started with a couple of the friends. And one of the guys that was in the group started out as kind of like, he's a supplementary guy to help. Yeah. Then he tried to cowboy the whole thing, and he had no idea. Like, number one, the guy's not emotionally stable.
Yeah.
Like, he's got some issues, right? But the other thing is he's not a great self-evaluator when it comes to his talent or lack thereof, right? So, like, he would create product, like, stuff to promote or things, and it would be lettered terribly. It would look awful. The design was bad. And I'm like, no, we've got Eric Hodson that's on our team to do that. Everything runs through him. Eric's an amazing designer. That's what he does. But people started getting frustrated because he kept cowboying stuff, right? And then he just kind of got off the rails with stuff. And after that company closed, after we quit that, said, screw this. I'm done with this crap. Forget people. And so we're kind of going back and forth. And then I find out that I wind up going over and signing up with Randy and Arrow Comics to release my books. And then I find out about the deal at that time. And I'm like, well, why didn't you mention anything to the company you're a part of? We have books. He goes, yeah, I didn't want this other guy involved. We'll just call him Rob for that matter. So I really don't want Rob involved with that. I didn't want him to rob it up. I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense, right? Like, that was all he had to say. That made total sense to me. It didn't dawn on me that, he didn't want to have, 4 more people that he had been ripping off. So it was kind of nuts, when we found out that it was all this big grift. And, we find out that, he's like, oh, no, there was a third-party company involved. And that was never there. I mean, they're just lie after lie after lie. And we can't really figure out why he did it so much.
I think it's a matter of, like, self-importance. Like, he wants to feel important. The thing is, like, he's not really making any money out of you. He's making you spend your money on a promise that he is king shit. Like,
it was going to make his company look legitimate.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe that's what it was. But really, what it served to do was tell me that I am no longer going to bet on other people. I'm going to bet on me.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So I decided that if I was going to find distribution, I was going to do it on my own. And I also saw what was going on with all the crowdfunding crap. And I said, and at the time, I'm wanting to crowdfund this book. And I get shadow banned for this book. Nothing political about it. Not one political thing in it. It's about this evil corporation and people that are angel human hybrids that are finding out that they have powers and dealing with this human trafficking ring, right? And maybe that's too close to reality, and that, I don't know, I'm joking. But I get shadow banned, and that upsets me, right? So I decide I'm going to find a way to crowdfund my own stuff. And that sent me on a path. I just come off the heels of this Liberty thing. I was like, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to find my own way to do it. And that set me off on this journey, which led to FundMyComic, now which leads to Iron Age distribution. And yeah, so in a way, thank God for COVID. Thank God for being grifted.
Yeah.
Because, there's a strawberry. It lit a fire. Instead of me because basically I just wanted to draw and write and let someone else handle all that other stuff, right?
That's the
But it made me realize that, it made me realize that I'm really gifted at that other stuff. I mean, I was a general manager for a parts store chain. And I was the guy that would go around to stores and fix them. I would go in and turn failing stores into profitable stores. So I'm really kind of gifted in that area. I'm very entrepreneurial in that sense. And even when I was going through credentialing, they do this evaluation system that you have to go through. And my gifting is that of an entrepreneurial pastor. I'm good at starting things. That's what I'm gifted at. And so I'm really generally gifted in that stuff. I don't want to do it.
You're like George Washington of comics. You were
exactly.
called to the cause reluctantly.
Yeah, I didn't really want to do all of it.
And one thing I gotta say, that one thing I've learned on your shoes with that thing of being grifted is that business is like porn. Contracts, like chicks. If they don't appear 15 minutes into the movie, it's not the movie you want to be watching.
It's not the movie you want to be watching.
The girls will never come. So be over the table with your dealings. And dude, this is a great segue.
Contracts right away. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is a great segue to go into what FundMyComic is and how this big opportunity to all creators, like it's over the table, everything, dude. We've already tried it. And dude, even though we didn't fund it, it was an experiment with Tropical Magics. My experience was beyond perfect.
You technically funded.
Yeah, I did fund it, but
you funded.
You know what I mean. But you know what I mean. Like, I was just trying things out.
Thanks,
and I was busy with other things, so I didn't really. But I didn't really like put my all on it. So I kind of blame myself more so than anybody else.
Well, I think that's something else that I'm learning a lot with crowdfunding is you have to put your all in it, or it doesn't happen.
Exactly, it doesn't happen. But what I really want to get out from that experience is how it handled. And dude, it's a website that was 3 months old when I made we made that campaign, and I have to say it was way less dramatic that
I don't even think it was 3 months old yet, man.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 1.
Yeah, it was like we launched it in March, actually. Like early to middle March, we actually launched it. So, I mean, it's 6 months now. 6 months we've been doing this, and now we've got 3 campaigns that have broke $20,000 on the
dude, congratulations on that
platform by themselves. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Things are moving well. We're about ready to work on another. Probably next month we'll get it going. We're going to do another upgrade. So right now we have the reward section. I want to make it to where there's a sort priority. Right now with the pink site, you can do a featured pick. You can't do this with the green site at all, but you can do it with the pink site. And I like the featured pick, but I want something more than that, So I didn't want to have a website that was just a clone of what those other places did. I wanted a little more freedom. I wanted more like an e-commerce website, Like I wanted to feel like I was shopping when I do a campaign. And then so we added a shopping cart. Then we added the ability to add multiples of each item to the shopping cart instead of just one of each. And now I want to be able to set up the rewards like what you would do like in a store or like on your own website, where I want you to see this item first and this one next and this one next. So we're going to add a sort priority to the rewards. And so that's the next upgrade that we're going to do. And then after that, most of the upgrades for the foreseeable future are going to be in back-end fulfillment and search sorting filters for the Explore page and for the back-end. So a lot of the back-end stuff is going to be taken care of. next year is really what most of our upgrades are going to be, is the back end stuff. So, but we are months and months ahead of schedule.
Oh, awesome, dude.
People just I expected that where we're sitting at right now, this is where we would be a year from now. And I mean, we've just had so many people just jump on this and support it. I guess a lot of people needed it. A lot of people needed an alternative.
Yeah. I mean, they were waiting. It's so arbitrary, like going on those two sites. Like, you don't know what you're going to say or do, and then you're like shadow banned or just like straight out kicked out. So that's something. And then this guy came out with that crowdfunder. That was like a blip in the history of indie comics. That crowdfunder guy came about and was like, oh, let's try crowdfunder, and he did what he did. And I love the interview here with the Bounding into Comics guy and his deer in the headlights moment.
Oh.
When he's like, so we want me to tell all the people who do indie comics that they're not welcome at your site. And I'm talking backers and creators, isn't it?
Well, I guess so.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you do run the risk when you say that, Comicsgate is welcome.
Yeah.
This is a place for you. You're welcome here.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome here. Mm-hmm. The people that are like that guy, he was afraid of losing the other people.
Yeah,
that's what he was afraid of losing.
Mm-hmm.
But these people aren't making that much money.
No.
That's the problem. The ones that, that will ignore a website. There are people that won't use FundMyComic because Comicsgate people are on it. Yeah. Let me tell you this. Comicsgate people are on the green and the pink site too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're stupid. The only difference is those people aren't going to get treated any differently for being here.
Yeah.
Because they voted for Trump. I don't care, right?
Yeah, that's so...
Nobody cares. Just make a good comic book. Work hard to sell it. I mean, we've got a lot of good books on here.
I'll just say for me, I think aside from having a functioning website, being navigatable, all that, necessary stuff, for me, one of the most powerful things about what you've got here is the actual name. FundMyComic, FMC. Yeah. It's so clear cut.
Had nothing to do with that. That was Pixel Trader came up with the name.
Oh, cool.
He was like, it's a shame FundMyComic's taken. I go, it's not taken.
It's not taken.
I said, well, hold on. It is now. I just bought it.
Yeah, it's a genius name. It's very marketable, and it sings. It rolls off the tongue well.
Yeah.
It's
really
everything
does.
you want.
I mean, Mo Biggs almost took care of that, though. Because I do remember that. And I took,
I missed that.
Mo called it Please FundMyComic. And it's not like that. It's FundMyComic. But it's Mo Biggs. He's one of the...
It's like, no, it's a call to action. Do it now. Fund it.
Do it now.
FundMyComic.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've got a sister site that we're building. I'm still working on branding on it.
Oh, cool.
But it's fundiverse.com.
Oh, nice.
So everything can be funded over there.
Awesome.
We're going to keep comics and games separate.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And then the other thing, you're involved with Iron Age distribution too, right?
Yes. So after this started going, I thought, you know what? Varian wasn't off.
No.
Too bad with his idea. I mean, if you take successful indie comics, you can find a market for those if you don't have to make the creators get on the hook for 3,000 copies.
Yeah.
Is there a way to do that and have a sell point that works for everybody? And so I started researching and talking with my printers and stuff about doing retail packages. And I'd already been doing some of those anyway. And we worked out a model that would work for that. And I remember talking in a back room, like one of these StreamYard back room things that we go to.
Yeah.
Thinking, we were musing about the idea, you talk about like what happened and recap some of the things. And I said it would have worked if he'd have done this. And I spelled out like if he'd have done this, how it would have worked. And he may not have had the deal with Spencer's, but he could have made other deals based on this model that could have gotten the books on racks in stores that aren't atypical stores, really, right?
Yeah.
And when I said it, I realized that I just had a business model for a distribution company. And I thought, dare I? And, I was already working on FundMyComic, and so I knew that the next step for FundMyComic was going to be this print-on-demand distribution model for successfully funded, crowdfunded books, And so we've launched that. We're now recruiting creators, publishers, to put their books up on the site. And then once we have enough to fill a catalog, we are going to start working on establishing more. Really, we've already established some, but we're going to establish more relationships with brick and mortar retailers to sell those books. So FundMyComic is the B2C, business to customer, and IronAgeDistribution.com is so we're publishers are selling to
a new breed of retailer might come out of this. Because I mean, that's another thing. Like, people are belly aching, like the brick and mortar, like the LCS are gonna disappear.
We don't want that to happen.
No, and the thing is, like, I don't think it's gonna happen. Because the thing is, like, right now they're in the stranglehold of Diamond and DC and Marvel, and people don't want to buy them.
A lot of them are ready to get out of that stranglehold. By the way,
exactly.
I've talked with several at conventions, and I've visited several now. Because we're trying to build this business.
Yeah.
So, but I'm the kind of guy, I partner with people that know what they're doing. So Phil Avelli is my partner for Iron Age Distribution, and he worked for one of the music companies. It started with a W. So he worked with one of those companies, one of the big companies, on their distribution side. And so he knows this. He knows the tools. He has the skill set to do it, and he has the desire to make this his full-time gig. So he's the perfect guy to partner with this. And then I partnered with Todd, who knows the code stuff. So I always run things by him, and Pixel does a good job too. He helps out with help me understand the code stuff. I'm an artist and a writer.
Yeah.
And if you ask my wife, a grade A pain in the butt. That's what I am. So I had to find people that were good at coding.
Dude, this is so cool, man.
Yeah. So I found people
that's really a full-time job just of itself. Real quick though, speaking of coders, I just want to say hello to the chat. Let me segue into that.
Yeah, there's
Ray. What's up, Bubba?
Ray has been a huge help throughout this whole thing as well.
What's up, Ray?
Big encouragement. He was one of the people that came on board. He's like, look, Luke, you got something here. Like, this will work. You should open this up to everybody. Because I didn't really want to... I just didn't want to deal with people. I knew what it was going to be. I was like, now I'm going to have to get lawyers. I'm going to have to get accountants. It's going to be a pain in the neck. If we make over $5,000 for the year, it's going to be, because I know, like, you can have a small business as long as it doesn't make over $5,000. You don't have to worry too much about it. But no, now I've got to do an LLC for this. I've got to, we've got to do everything by the book on it. And I said, I don't want to do all that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, people don't take into consideration the burden of success.
It's not just building the website,
Yeah, exactly.
The website was the easy part. It was writing the terms of service and getting all the legal documents that we needed, and that was the holdup with one of the developers that we had, and we wound up moving away from them and going to someone else. And it's a real pain in the neck. And then once you've done that, there's always a feature. Now, I love hearing from people about what features they want to add or what they find, when they want to work with us in a collaborative sense. But we get some people, they just want to, like, your site sucks because it doesn't do this. And Indiegogo does this. And I'm like, Indiegogo's been out for what, 15 years?
And
something like that. We've been out for 5 months. Like, give us Give us a second. We're getting there.
Yeah, and not only that, in Indiegogo, if you sneeze funny, you get shadow banned. So
right, but I know why they do it. I do. Like I don't know. There's a reason.
Yeah.
From knowing the legal side of crowdfunding now, like what it's like back here.
Yeah.
There's a good reason why they do that.
Okay.
And it's better that they do that than what Kickstarter does, which is outright ban you.
Outright ban you.
Or they'll just kick you. The shadow banning is way better.
Okay.
I mean, quite honest, because you still get to use the platform if you need it. You just have to drive all the traffic there yourself. But for me, I don't think that's fair. I think if you get shadow banned, they should waive their fee, or at least some of it, right?
Yeah, to me, like it's just that this like Damocles sword that you have to watch what you say. It really rubs me the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I can be responsible for my thoughts and how I communicate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind getting in trouble, but having like a nanny site telling me, "Oh, you can't say this," "Oh, you want to keep doing business with us," like, dude, I'm giving business to you. It's the other way around. But whatever, dude.
Our TOS still has to appease Stripe, and it has to appease our developers, and it has to appease our personal banks.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like that's what I mean. Like, if you are an asshole, you're gonna pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, if I know that I'm on FMC and I'm talking wild shit, and I know I'm talking wild shit, and I get consequences for what I say, because Stripe, dude, they're a reputable. They're basically a bank, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want their name attached to wild shit.
They don't.
So you're gonna get in trouble. But it's my prerogative to talk wild shit.
It really is.
The consequences of what I say.
It is.
I don't feel like that with Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and that's what I mean.
Which is why we have the process of approval that we have.
Yeah, exactly.
We let you know if the stuff you're talking is too wild.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if it's too wild, we're like, hey, you know what? Let's calm it down a little bit.
Calm it down, yeah. I know
that
what you
way
mean.
we can get you on this. Yeah. And then we haven't had I really haven't had anybody fight me about that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they get it. They get it, right? Yeah. They do worry. It's like, well, I worry that like my adult comic book won't sell well on this platform because it seems to be more people that aren't interested in titty covers. That's right. It is. It's more the patronage of that website, FundMyComic, is like legitimate comic book fans. They're more concerned about storytelling, and creativity. They don't really care about TNA as much. I'm not saying that they don't at all.
Yeah, but the thing is like that's more Kickstarter right now. It's the TNA site.
Yeah,
like, it's all ass and titties. It's just
if I was gonna have a book that was that way, I would probably put it over there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is my website, so I'd put it on mine first, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, so I get more of my own money from my initial audience, and then go over there for their, for their pervs.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, and that's the thing. Yeah. Like, to me, FundMyComic was a breath of fresh air, man, and I congratulate you.
Well, thank you
on just having this initiative. And a lot of people just let go of sigh of relief when they saw FundMyComic like succeeding. So
it's been a lot of hard work, but it's been worth it. It really has. And we have campaigns that do everything from, as you see, if $30 or whatever. It's a storefront. So he was selling on another website from somewhere else, and he just moved his store over there. So it's like, instead of having his own, some of these people, instead of having their own website, they just have a tiny URL or a link tree that has their campaign list on there, and so they just direct them right to their campaigns. So it's like their storefront. It's their store for them. Cool stuff, cool ideas.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to say hey to Frederic Guimont. What's up, Frederic?
Welcome,
says hey
Frederic,
to
I need to be. Frederic messaged me while I was on. I say vacation. I was in Florida for a convention, and I've not yet responded to him. I've formulated my response. Frederic, I'll be getting back to you. Promise you.
We got Ronan's review in the house. Review and short on hybrids, he says.
Yeah, did a very great review on that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, we got Neostar. I love TNA. But I see it as
we all
more of
do.
a perk than a priority.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
There you go. Right, exactly.
We all
Perk,
do,
not a
dude.
priority.
It's the imperative that keeps the species going. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't
Welcome, Grey
demonize
Wolf.
loving TNA, but I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah. But if I'm grabbing a comic, it's not for TNA. You know what I mean? I want to be entertained with a good, cool story. Good
Frederick, I
character
will talk to you
design.
about some CS. We need to.
Yeah.
We can edit our CSS stuff, and there's some CSS
Oh,
changes I want to make.
Mm.
Todd does that too, but here's the problem. Todd also works a full-time job doing development all day long. And then when he's working FundMyComic, he has to work more of the boss stuff.
What's up, bro?
Yeah. He's got to be the boss, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He can't be the developer, the guy working on this stuff. He's got to be the boss.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I might get a hold of you.
Yeah, I like the other half of Ray's comment here. He says, "Thanks, Luke. I really tried, but that guy seriously let us both down. I'm so happy the way FMC has worked out and grown." You say it's only been 6 months, but it feels like it's been around.
It's a whole story, man. Like in itself.
I was gonna say, it just feels like the website's been around for longer. Like just in my mind, like
6
buzzing
months,
around.
yeah.
So
We've been
nice.
talking about it for a while, but no, we've been live for 6 months. That's it.
Right on, bro.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like this was something that a lot of people were trying to do and just didn't get around to do it. Like they got busy with other stuff. And
Yeah.
Well,
bigger names within the community were trying, and dude, you just came out of left field.
Yeah,
like,
while we were working on
baby.
this,
Yeah.
there was rumor that someone else, a more prominent creator,
Mhm.
was working on and was going to have a site launched.
Yeah.
And we almost abandoned the idea because of it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know how much this takes. This is not easy.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
not easy. We were only able to make the progress we did because we found a company that had already had an infrastructure built. And so they actually handle all of our hosting,
Yeah.
and they're our developers. So we use the proprietary code that they created, and then we pay them to develop further additions to that code as we need for our site. So that was the only reason why, because they already had 8-9 years of development in this. They were already using this for other companies that were doing fundraisers, like corporate fundraisers and stuff. So they already had the experience. So we knew that we were ahead of the game with these developers than anyone else. And so that's the only reason why we were able to make the progress that we did. That, and we had a nice chunk of money that we invested to be able to kind of jumpstart, if you will, all of the development that we wanted to have done to it. So,
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And just again, like, not to necessarily harp on the name thing, but while you were talking, I know we don't promote other companies, but has anybody thought about Zoop in like 2 years?
no, not a great name. Zoop sounds
It's
like
a horrible name. It's a horrible name
name.
that tells you nothing about what we're trying to do here. It's almost
Crowdfunder without an
confusing.
E. Yeah, that's not a great name.
Yeah. Zoop.
Kickstarter's
Like
a great name.
outros, Goop.
Yeah.
Kickstarter's a great name. That's a great name. Indiegogo's not even a great name. It's an okay name.
Really. Yeah.
Kickstarter's a great name, and we needed something that was as good as Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Like, we have Fundiverse, but it's still not my favorite. Like, it's not as great as
I
Kickstarter.
mean, FundMyComic sings, FMC. Yeah, so yeah, that's perfect.
Yep.
Okay,
Now,
so
we're over the hour now, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I could keep going because, dude, I love having talked with Luke, but I'm getting hungry. But
yeah,
it's dinner
no,
time
that's
here.
okay. Yeah, I got to feed my dogs as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so Luke, thank you, buddy, for popping
having
in,
me.
and
yeah, dude.
absolutely, man.
This
Drop
was fun.
some
This
knowledge.
conversation has been everywhere,
Yeah,
and I love it.
exactly.
This is the kind of conversations I like.
Awesome.
I think we started talking about the weather. Then we went to
Yes.
politics.
Yeah.
Then we talked about the dulcimer,
Mhm.
and then we made it to FundMyComic.
Exactly.
Somehow,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's a natural conversation, and
it really was. Yeah.
the doors are always open. Whenever you feel like come and hang out, just shoot the shit.
Yeah, man, I love hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
I really like hanging out with Pedro. Ginge, you're a lot of fun too.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like, Ginge,
Soulless
like
Ginger.
the famous Pedro Ang, like Ginge is a writer. He's the writer of Waifus and Kaijus. So
I'm excited about that book.
Yeah.
That one I'm really, really excited about.
So that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna get this ginger, beautiful man in the spotlight because I'm world famous now. Because I'm world famous, I want to make him world famous.
We're gonna have to have both you guys on the bacon to talk about waifus and kaijus.
Yeah, let's do
do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cook up some bacon, baby. That sounds good.
Frying up that bacon, baby.
Okay, so Luke, is there anything else you'd like to say before we head off, buddy? I'm gonna bump you to the back, and then we're gonna.
No, man, just rock and roll, man. Keep your eye on the prize. Hating ain't creating.
Yeah, it ain't creating. Yeah, leave a mark, but not in your underwear. And
I have a problem with that. That's
Oh, dude, you have to use baby wipes.
I have a. I mean, this is too much, but I have a bidet. Actually, I bought one.
Ooh,
I do too.
fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use a
fancy
bidet.
No, well, here's the thing. I
Look.
saw people fist fighting over toilet paper in Walmart. So that's never going to be me.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you've had nurses wipe your butt for you, it's either that or a bidet. You know,
Yeah, dude.
You don't really go back. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna do it myself, like some kind of scrub. I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I do have a bidet, and the things like now I play classical music in the bathroom.
Yes.
I personally prefer minuetto.
I eat caviar and have Grey Poupon.
Higher stand-up bassist.
Yeah. So
Play the upright.
now we're talking about poop. Like, this is a great way to end this show. Talking about wiping your ass. Yeah. So
We wiped our ass with this show, gentlemen. Well done.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, man.
take a little pat on the head from Neo Star. Good point, Ginge. I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, Luke, I'm going to bump you to the back. Thank you
Sounds
again,
like a
buddy,
plan.
for coming, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
We do.
Luke
Yeah.
Stone, what a guy.
No show. That was a great
Yeah,
chat.
dude. It was a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the Ginge and Pedro show for Tuesday, October the 3rd, 2023. Dude, the year is coming to an end. What the hell?
It's sneaking up, man.
Yeah.
It's so next week actually we have a alternate artist, Nick Welch,
Nice.
doing
That's
Sam
Red Koi,
Rex.
right? That's right.
Well, he's the colorist for Red Koi, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
cool.
he's doing his Sam Rex colors, line art, lettering, all of that. He's all doing it himself. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yep. We actually had the launch party for that a couple days ago. Yeah, like 5 days ago maybe, and they're over 50% funded. So
Awesome.
congrats to that. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, guys. And on the other front, Waifus and Kaijus, the prologue is 1 page away from finishing. So I'm gonna start with the main story maybe by the end of this week. So we're chugging along. We're at 90 something.
Yes. We're at 90 subscribers right now on the mail channel.
Nice. Yeah.
We're launching at 200. So
yeah, guys,
So plug it along.
Spread the word. The moment we hit 200, we're launching this puppy, and dude, you're gonna have a lot of fun, dude. There's a lot of fight action, and Ginge is focusing on the boob ass. I love that.
I'll just give one spoiler. There's really not much TNA in this. There's only one sort of obligatory shower scene, and it's not a bunch of girls all. No, it's none of that. It's just
it's only one shower scene, and it's a dude.
It's a very tasteful scene after one of the characters finishes a sort of
sweaty session.
Yes, but nothing like that. Yes, it's just I had to give it the nod, but it's literally one panel.
Yeah,
there's a couple other little sexy scenes, but that's as TNA as it gets.
Yeah, exactly.
We got a serious book here.
But yeah, like I have to say, like in the first 28 pages of the prologue, there's hardly any TNA. You know what I mean? Because it's aliens. It's mostly aliens. It's the story of the Gorian coming to Earth. So there's not that many humans.
Right.
But dude, like I got the first pages of the script. Really enjoyable read, man. You're just gonna have fun.
All right, love it.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. Okay, so real quick, I'll drop that link.
Yeah,
In the,
cool, guys.
Yeah.
If you haven't signed up, just sign up and spread the word, guys. This is gonna be a hit for the ages. Waifus and kaijus.
Spread the word, spread your cheeks, and lift your sack, as Dave Chappelle says.
Exactly. What's that going to prove?
Related. Nothing.
Wait a minute.
It's funny. Okay.
Mr.
Anyways.
Right this way. Should have spread.
No, but maybe next book, Neo. We'll see about.
Alien Shadow.
Okay, everybody. So that'll be it for this week's episode. Real quick, and I promised Pops. We do have the comics-related madness, the Madness Network, going live on the Green site right now, and that's I think a little over 25% funded.
Cool.
I've got a script commission on there for $100. You can get a 10-page script. You can either give me as much information. We can write it hand in hand together, whatever you want to do, and you'll likely get more than 10 pages. I just we settled on a 10-page short. But if it ends up being a little bit more, I'm notorious apparently for slightly longer reads.
Ooh.
But I love short stories. We got a couple shorts under our belt, buddy.
So you're known for being long. Okay, that's not.
I'm a long man, but I am only 5'8", so nothing.
I gotcha. See what you're doing there.
All right, buddy. Let's get the hell out of here. Thank you, everybody, that came by.